So you guys already know my friend Andy, and he was kind enough to decorate our shop with a Plymouth. You know, a really nice backdrop to a lot of our videos. Well, while we're waiting for parts for that thing to come in, we figured we'd feature one of his other cars. So you want to tell everybody what this is? Wait, I'm going to tell people what it is first. This is something very few people even know ever existed. This is a factory Oldsmobile drag package. This is a 1966 W-30. So, and it differs from your standard Oldsmobile muscle car because this was actually designed for NHRA C stock racing. And you've got the documentation back and forth. And the first giveaway is right there. Come. It's got a factory trunk-mounted battery. So Andy, give the background in this car. How did you come across it? Well, what is it specifically, and how did you come across it?
Right, so 66 442 W-30s, 54 factory cars came off the assembly line. They needed to make 50 cars to race in C stock in 1966. And like Tony said, we've got the paperwork here in the trunk between Oldsmobile and NHRA. This happens to be car number 27. 21 years ago, this car came up for sale and I was able to purchase it. And it was a bucket of rust and bolts and you name it. However, all of the correct parts were on the car or with the car.
What you see here is the result of an 11-year restoration. And we'll introduce you to the mastermind behind all of this in a few minutes. But let's go over the fine details of this car. What sets it apart? What makes it unique?
So it's based on a 442, the F85 Deluxe car, and you could have the Cutlass, you could have a Cutlass Supreme. You could not get this car in convertible. This happens to be a F85 Deluxe model with the 442 package added, and then the W-30 package added. W-30 package added tri-carburation, 411 rear gear on this car specifically, 4-speed only. The camshaft, the 308 duration, has no vacuum, so no power brakes, no power steering. It's a
tight LSA. Wait till you hear this thing idle.
This is a radio delete car, basically to save weight and just to run them down the strip. Most were championed by different dealerships at the time. Like I said, only 50 of them, 54 were put out from the factory. There's only 17 or 18 left known in existence. But here is the real W-30 option package.
But wait, before you go any further, you talk about how many are left in existence. So I saw the roster on this thing, or for these cars. And one of the unique things is it's air cleaner. And among the clique, that the devotees to this car, they call that the shroud. So evidently, the cars that are accounted for, some of them are shroud only.
That's right.
So they don't have the whole car, but they got the air cleaner.
That's right. There are more shrouds than cars.
More shrouds than cars.
More shrouds than VIN numbers.
Right. So that's the key identifying feature of these cars to Oldsmobile people.
So tri-carburation. 3 Rochesters.
2 GCs that would be on the like the GTO.
Yep.
Okay.
GM Rochesters. The stamped out air cleaner. On the air cleaner is stamped the number of the car, so that's where number 27 comes from.
Okay.
It had also a little chrome dress-up package associated. Obviously outside air induction, this is the coolest part. And the only exterior sign that this was a W-30 car would be those ducts down here. And because they put the ducts here, they had to move the turn signal bezels inboard. So this is different from a normal 442.
And they actually had to dent the bumper right here to get the lens in. And that's one of the identifying features.
It is. If you are out in the wild and you see a 442 and the marker lights are inboard, I mean, obviously the bumper had to be bent in order to move those there. This, people might say, it doesn't have red fender wells. Red fender wells didn't come around till later than the plastic ones. So also because of these air hoses coming down, was the other reason to move the battery to the trunk. But they wanted to move that R69 battery over the right rear tire because it weighs like 50 pounds. It's a
That's
heavy
special battery.
It was a taller battery than you will find from any reproduction house. I think it was the normal battery for 66, but you won't find them anymore today.
Okay.
The car was just 115 sequence number red, and these are duplications of what we found on the car when we disassembled.
Now the fellow who restored this.
Yes. He's over there. Yeah,
He's
Scott.
over there.
Yep.
What was his name?
Scott.
Scott. Just Scott. He only goes by the name Scott. He actually. You got to come in closer to this. This guy is an artist. You really need to go over this car in person to see the detail that's incorporated here.
Yep.
Like, for instance, the original hoses on these cars had these blue stripes.
Yep. Any water hose had blue stripes, so Scott has repainted these stripes, made specific codes. If you see, if it had windshield washer fluid, it had yellow stripes. If you can look, Kathy, down where Tony is, you'll see the gas lines listed with Swan gas.
Right. He hand painted all of these details.
Yeah, he made stamps and put the codes, right codes on the rubber. I mean, getting a shot from under the car too, you might be able to see it. And if it was cast or natural or regular steel.
Now, even the drive shaft has a stripe on it.
Yes.
That was put on the drive shaft when they balanced it at the factory. They actually had to spin the drive shaft to the right speed to get the stripe in the right place and have the right thickness and the right everything on it.
You'll be able to see it here.
Oh yeah, there it is.
So it signifies it was balanced for a 4-speed car.
So yeah, that's the level of detail you've got on this car. That's a new old stock exhaust system, new old stock mufflers. What was special about the rear end on these cars?
So the rear end is a Pontiac rear end. Oldsmobile didn't have the ability to have a strong enough axle housing, so they used the Pontiac axle housing, TT coated. You could get 411s, and Scott, you could go up to 430s, I think.
433.
Yeah, 433s was the stiffest gear, I guess you would say.
Yeah, get a look at this interior.
So again, radio delete. The 442 is the first year of the 442 Hurst shifter, where 442 is engraved on the stick.
Where did you find the seat upholstery?
This went to Legendary Interiors, and they redid it.
It's just epic. So this car is like literally as off the assembly line.
It's as off the assembly line as we could
As you could
possibly get
possibly
it.
make it.
If it had overspray on it, it was overspray from the factory. If it has a paint mark in it, it was a paint mark that we found or know that that's where they should be. The hang tags, where they would have come from, even a original matchbook from '66.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. So just to show you like the level of detail, he talks about overspray. When he assembled the engine, they had some hoses on the engine. This is from the factory now. And like for instance, you've got this heater bypass hose here. And the heater bypass hose has the overspray from the paint on the engine itself, where the water hoses that are added after the fact, and these are the right ones with the ribs. You can always tell original hoses because of the ribs that are on them. Those don't have any overspray. So like this is like, I mean, detailed.
You see the overspray, the firewall would have been blacked out, and then when the body color came, there's a bit of overspray coming over the top of the firewall.
The ground strap over here is unique. I've never seen one like that, the way that it fans out like that.
Yep. Yep, that's a correct W-30 ground strap. That's another telltale sign if you came up to a car that didn't have anything really remnant and you had a huge ground strap on the car.
Now, there was also something you pointed out about the bolts being...
Yeah, they kind of messed up when they put them together, and underneath you could tell, if you could look at it from this side, there would be extra bolt holes, and that's a telltale sign that the original core support was a factory core support. Because there was a couple, when they assembled them, they had put holes there, and then when they actually went to go assemble them, they realized they were in the wrong spot, so they had to shift about a half inch.
And you know, the unusual thing I noticed here is that it's got a direct drive fan. You would think that they would have had a clutch fan on here.
Yeah, you would think, but no, direct drive fan. I don't know.
And it's just got the standard GM single point distributor.
Single point distributor.
And you've got time slips from this car from the day?
So the gentleman that owned it two before me used to still race the car. So I know that the car was raced from 66 to 70. And then the gentleman I know of then bought it in 70. And it might have been the first time it was actually titled.
Okay.
You know, minus from the dealer. And then yes, we have some time slips on the back. Some are hard to read, but that guy was running 14s.
Yeah, it was,
so.
but the 60 foot's on the, it's like a 2.5 second 60 foot. Mm-hmm. So it's like the car is capable. They weren't getting it off the starting line. Right. The actual, these cars in C stock trim, and they were designed for C stock eliminator. And you've got the NHRA paperwork.
That's right. And this car did win in '66, the C stock, beat out a GTO, and I think it was like 1289.
1280, yeah, 1286, I believe it was. Like right. So race prepped with a 6-inch slick is what they were using back in those days, and headers. It ran 1280s, so which is stout.
It was good, yeah.
You know,
did its job.
Absolutely. What does it weigh? Do you know?
No, I don't know.
But we have the right overspray.
We have the right overspray, yes. This is more of a, different than the other car, which is why we talked about that. The other car is meant to be on the road and driven hard.
Right.
And that's why I wanted that car, that I didn't have to fuss with every nut and bolt.
Now people keep asking for an update on that. What is the latest?
So the good news there is that new to me block, is at Ray Barton's in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So Ray Barton's going to do the machining on it, cut the pistons, put in the crank, and then when it's ready to go, we'll be able to pick it up.
When do we expect to have everything together so we can put that car together?
He did not give me an exact timeline, but I would hopefully say in a month we should have the motor back, or the block back, with the rotating.
All right, so that's what's going on with that car. I thought you just wanted to leave it as a decoration. You know, it looks so good as a backdrop. I use it all the time, you know, in videos. It's got to feel like it's going to be like.
We need to make a green screen for you or whatever. You just have it in the back.
We'll have to build a paper mache replica once that one is gone.
But if you're in Tennessee today, come down and check out all the Oldsmobiles.
People are going to be mad if we don't start this thing up for them.
Oh yeah.
So let's go to the back of the car, because the exhaust on this thing is just magic.
Probably have to.
Oh, we got to hook up the back of it. Yeah, hook up the battery.
Hey, Tony?
Yeah. So Andy, what's the future of this car?
So this car will be the initial time that it's shown, and we hope for it to do very well in the show today. If it wins or gets some outrageous number of points, it will be put in a senior class. Then it needs to compete in another national event to become a preservation senior. Okay. So basically that's what it has to do within the Oldsmobile arena. And then this November, it'll be up in Chicago at the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals. Invitation for us to bring 10 of the remaining 17 or 18 cars that are left.
Okay.
10 of them will be up at the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals in November.
So at what point can we do donuts with this?
I'd say in 2 to 3 years, we'll be able to do some donuts.
All right. So that's it. The world's only, well, no, it's 66 and 67.
66 and 67.
Factory drag package Oldsmobile, right? You never knew that. I never knew this existed. Who knew this existed? I kind of knew it existed. But really, seriously, this is rare stuff. And thanks a lot, Andy. Appreciate it.
My pleasure, Tony.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.